Hey guys, I'm Pam.
I'm Eddie, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. First of all, thank you guys so much for the support that you've given us
Been amazing.
for our first, I think, 7 videos. It's been pretty cool just to see all the people watching the videos, all the comments on our videos, and just all the feedback. It's been great to hear from you guys. If you guys haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please be sure to do so to catch any of our future videos. But yeah, anyway, so I think it was last week, we were just thinking about like new videos that we'd want to do and topics that we want to discuss and coming up with ideas, and we've got quite a few ideas, so quite a few videos coming. But yeah, I was just sitting and I just thought about like how it was or how we felt dating at a relatively young age. We know that kids these days, dated like the age of 10 and stuff like that. We started
Don't let your kids do that.
we started dating when I was 16 turning 17.
And I was 14 turning 15 around there.
Yeah, so I consider that to be quite young.
It's very young. Looking back, especially now, it's like, whoa, y'all were babies. We are pretty young still. So I guess this also applies to dating now.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of what we're gonna say applies to everyone. And I like, just a little disclaimer, like we don't know it all anyway, so this is just stuff that we've learned and stuff that we'd like to share. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay, so the first thing that we've learned is the fact that you need to know why you're getting into a relationship. And I think this is the most important out of probably all of the 5 lessons that we've learned. This is really the starting point for anything, actually, not only relationships, it's just knowing why you're doing something, the purpose behind it as well. And if your foundation isn't strong, it can just make everything a mess, especially in the future as you go along.
I mean, just taking a look at like the idea of actually building a house. Like if your foundation isn't good, your house will not be able to endure and go through things. So I think that applies. That's literally like physical. A physical house will fall, but I think that comes to relationships and anything that you decide to build on. Like your foundation needs to be strong.
Yeah, I think while you're young, you don't 100% always know why you're getting into something. I remember when I was in high school, a lot of the times people just wanted to be in relationships because that's what everyone else was doing, or because they were lonely, they didn't want to be alone or left out, or just for their own selfish reasons. And there isn't like that level of maturity yet to know why you actually want something. And those are relationships that usually just didn't last at all.
If you're just getting into it for the sake of getting into it.
Exactly, like you can't just get into a relationship for the sake of getting into a relationship. And just looking at us, I would say when I first saw you and maybe decided that, oh, I want to get to know this girl, I maybe wasn't mature enough to actually know why I wanted to be with you. But I think over time, I learned that. And I'm glad that was actually like sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's important to like also have an end goal in mind. The journey is always important, but I think you need to know where you're going as well. So not just know why, but also know where you're going. The second thing that we've learned during our time together is that like you can't just sacrifice or compromise for just anybody. Like you can't risk everything for somebody that is just like a maybe. And I think, I mean, in our past, like in our relationship, like there has been a point where we were like, we have to like weigh the risks, but is this person important enough to weigh those risks?
Yeah.
And you can't be like jumping around from person to person and then give up everything for the next person. I think it's just, if you know, and then that's when the risk can come in. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes 100% sense.
You just can't compromise for just any random person.
Yeah, and I think this is a point where I've seen a lot of people get hurt. They give people their all at such a young age, and then the person breaks up with them, and then, I mean, they're left totally destroyed.
Yeah.
And that's really not worth it. It's not worth it giving up your family for someone that you don't even know if you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that's, I think, really important for young people to know.
Yeah.
And also your values as well. I don't think it's ever worth it giving up the values that you have. I mean, we all grow, we all change as we grow up, we all better ourselves, but your core values are something that you should always keep at heart and not really let anyone try and change. Okay, lesson number 3 is you don't need to rush. Good things take time.
Yeah, absolutely. So something we actually have gone through, it was a bit of a challenge in our relationship, but we were just in like different spaces in our lives, and this was like sometime last year, I think.
About 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago. And like obviously he had started working already, and I actually am still currently a student, but at that point it was just like we were in a space where it was like he's in a different space. He's like paying bills, he's working every day, living a grown-up life, and I'm still like a student. And that was a bit like we were just in a bit of a weird space to try and like I had to like understand that he's got a full-time job. Like I'm casually like in class texting, but like he can't just I'm not in class texting, I didn't do that. But like that's that kind of thing, like that's a small example. But I didn't always understand where you were at in that sense, but we pushed through, and we just made effort to make sure that we understood each other.
Yeah.
We are both growing and learning, and we're both like still individual people, and we're on a journey.
Yeah.
And we just need to like be aware of where we are in life, and just to be patient, because good things take time, and you just have to like push through.
Yeah. I think a big point for me is the fact that we are 2 individual people, and I think like when you're young, I think for some people it's very difficult to accept the fact that you are actually 2 people, 2 different people. You have goals that you each separately have.
Yeah.
You have 2 separate relationships with God. You both have like aspirations, and you can't just rush into thinking that your whole world now revolves around the both of you. You still need to chase your dreams, your goals, and yeah, I just think that's something that's very important.
It's not 50-50, it's 100-100. And with that, we should together be 2 full people coming together and then being 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's just something that I've always kept in the back of my head.
Yeah. So like a marriage will eventually come. You'll reach those milestones together as a couple. Like just a few years ago, we thought we'd never be together. Like we literally thought it's never gonna happen, and we're here now.
So the 4th one is you need to control your expectations of the other person.
Yeah, I think a huge one for young people. I'm still young, but a huge one. When you're young, you don't actually, like, it's all about you. Like, you're just like, I want this person to be like this. And when they don't turn out to be like that, it is a huge blow. And I think with our relationship, there are times when I've expected Pam to act in a certain way, or to be a certain way, or even to turn out a certain way, because we've been together for a long time, or rather known each other for a long time. And like, I would have expectations of how I thought she would turn out. She's turned out just fine.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
And I think it's just that maturity of learning to control your expectations, and knowing that you can't actually, like, you can't be with someone because of how you want them to turn out. You have to be with someone because of who they are right now.
You can't date potential.
Yeah. There's just one thing that I've learned about how being in a relationship is very much about sacrifice. It's not you can't be selfish and be in a relationship. You have to be willing to give and to not expect as much, if that makes sense. That leads us to our last lesson, and that's that you need to know what love is. And I think a lot of young people get it mixed up. Like, love, to me especially, is not about compatibility. Having the other person be exactly what you want them to be, because you just learn that you're different in so many ways. I think that's exactly what love is.
Yeah, I think if we like look at the truest and purest form of love, we take a look at the Bible and seeing that like Jesus sacrificed for us, like he sacrificed his life without expecting us to love him back. I think that like is a good example of like what love should be, is that we should just love and sacrifice for the person, not sacrificing values, don't get me wrong, but like sacrificing for the person. And I think it comes with humility and loving the other person like through humility, and not actually expecting, like don't be like, oh, I'm gonna love Adi and he better love me back. Like that's not love. Like love is like, I'm gonna love Adi no matter what, if he loves me back or not. That's true love. And obviously you can't have a one-sided relationship, but you guys get my point.
Yeah, I think when I was young, just taking it back to when I was younger, like throwing around the word "I love you" was such a thing. Like
Really?
you'd know someone for like 2 weeks, and then it would be like "I love you," and it's not like personally, but like just growing up with like the boys and stuff like that. It was just such a thing. And as I've grown up in this relationship with her, I would say I loved you back then, but then I don't think I actually knew what it meant. A lot of disappointments along the way, a lot of trials that we've had to go through. And you know, at the end of the day, like I've still chosen her and she's still chosen me. And I think that has taught me what love is. Like just looking at, again, the definition in the Bible, the example that Jesus gives us, and now applying it, now being able to apply it to our relationship has taught me what love actually is.
Like as he said, we've gone through stuff. As we've grown together, I think our love has become deeper. And it's not that we didn't mean it in high school, it's just that we didn't know the depth of what love means.
Yeah. So guys, I think the key point there is that if it doesn't cost you anything, it probably isn't love. But yeah, that's just 5 lessons that we've learned over the years, just being together on this journey, and we just thought we'd share it with you guys.
So guys, thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Pressing buttons is always fun.
Yeah, click that subscribe button.
Click that subscribe button. See you guys in our next video. Bye.
Bye.